Hello and welcome to English with Tanvirul Islam. Today I have got a English grammar video for class 6 and above. I know it's been a while since I did a grammar video, but a lot of you are having problems with these modal verbs. So here I am with you. I'm going to introduce you to modal verbs. I'm going to tell you the rules, how to use them and when to use them. Do note that there are a lot of different situations which you need to use them, and it would be impossible for me to go through all clearly, so this is an introduction. And hopefully you will leave the lesson feeling a lot more comfortable when using modal verbs. Let's get started. So, firstly, what modal verbs are? Well, they are part of a larger category called auxiliary verb, and these are verbs that add meaning to another verb. Modal verbs are special because they follow a strict set of rules and use in a very specific way. I'm going to talk about the 9 modal verbs today. Don't get them confused with the semi-modals that only follow some of the modal verb rules. Now, if I ask you right now to tell me the 9 modal verbs, would you be able to tell me them? If you can, that's great. But for those who can't, I have got a really easy way to remembering them. Oh, dear learners, we have got 3 M's. Must, might and may. Then we have got 2 W's, will, would. Then 2 C's, can, could. And lastly 2 S's, shall and should. We need to focus on will and would. Both will and would add contraction by taking apostrophe and ll next to it. Then would take apostrophe and adding d. Would, would, ow. Other majority of these modal verbs expresses different meaning depending on the context, so you really have to understand the sentence or question as a whole. I'm going to help you with this today. Later on this class, we can talk about the different meanings that each modal verb can express. But we need to go through the rules. What can you do with them and what can't you do with them? Without these rules, you are going to find it difficult to use them. But the good news is that all of these rules apply to the 9 modal verbs that we are looking at this lesson. So, rule number 1. Infinitives come after modal verbs but without 2. Example, I might eat pizza. I can play football. Rule number 2. Modal verbs take no s in the third person singular number. She must leave. It might happen. Okay, now rule number 3. Modal verbs do not change their form according to tense. We will see through two examples. Can I help you? Could I use your phone? Rule number 4. We use modal verbs in negative sentences, like we do other auxiliary verbs without the word do. Subject, modal verb, not main verb. You must not eat my food. I cannot speak French. Rule number 4. Here we will see the contraction and negative form of these 9 modal verbs. At first, the main word, then negative form, and after that we will see the contracted form or short form. Might, might not, mightn't. Must, must not, mustn't. May, may not. May usually don't have contracted form. Can, cannot, can't. Could, could not, couldn't. Will, will not, won't. Would, would not, wouldn't. Shall, shall not, shan't. Should, should not, shouldn't. These contractions are usually used in informal and spoken English. Now, we are moving on to the rule number 5. With interrogative phrases, modal verbs are used like other auxiliary verbs. Modal verb, subject, verb. Can you help me? Will you let him? Dear learners, now we are going to look into all the 9 modal auxiliary verbs individually and their uses, when to use it and how to use it in different variety of sentences. At first, must. In the situation of probability or logical assumption, we use must. We can use must. She must be stuck in traffic because she is going to be late. Okay, then necessity. I must go home right now. It's my urgency, or I may feel the necessity to go home now. Prohibition. In case of prohibition, we can use must. You must not smoke here. Smoking here is strongly prohibited. Okay? Then might. In case of expressing possibility, we can use might. We are going to see it through examples. They might be eating lunch. She might give us a discount. Then may. In the expression of possibility, the teacher may be late today. Permission. May I leave now? Dear learners, we will have move on to the next modal auxiliary verb, will. Future time. I will leave at 7 o'clock. In case of promise or willingness, we can use will. I will give money to charity this Christmas. In case of polite request, we can use will. Will you help me to move this log Okay. Then would. Would is more formal in polite request than may or can. Would you help me with this? And then invitations, preferences and desires, we can use would. Would you take a cup of tea? Would you prefer apples or oranges? Then can. Can be used in expressing ability. I can speak English. I can speak French. Then suggestions or option, we can use it. You can call him tomorrow. You can call him tomorrow. And impossibility, in case of impossibility, we can use can. That can't be here. That can't be here. Then request, can you help me? Then could. Could can be used in expressing past ability. I could do trigonometry 5 years ago. I could do cycling when I was young. Polite request, could I call you? Then possibility and impossibility, we can use could. She could be here. She couldn't be here. Suggestion, you could try doing this. Then shall, in offering someone to something, shall I help you with that? Confirmation, shall I meet you there at midnight? Promises, you shall be the first person to know. It's my promise to my friend that I will inform him first than any other person. Then should, in case of expressing recommendation, recommending something, we can use should. You should try this new bar. The right thing to do. We can use should expressing the right thing to do. We should deal with this right now. Uncertain prediction, he should be home soon, but I'm not sure. Dear learners, we have discussed all about modals bit elaborately but condensedly. I hope you have got clear idea about all these 9 modal verbs, and your feeling towards modal verbs have been improved through this online class, and I hope if you keep on practicing with the help of your grammar book at home, you can improve your idea on modal auxiliary verb. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.